So who am I? I'm a crazy mad witch. I'm a solopreneur. I'm a business witch who actually does business. And the people I like helping are the people who are hanging out on their own, doing their own thing, being solopreneurs themselves. I like crazy people who like to get on with it themselves, so I can work well with them. I also want people who are really open-minded and who are coming from the heart and whose purpose is to make a difference in the world, in life, for other people and for everything. And they're coming at this and they're fed up with the old ways. They're fed up with the same old business tricks that everybody's learned since the London School of Economics ever thought it all up. They want to do something different. And they're people who actually want to connect back into the world that we've got so disconnected from now. They're people who want to live in the modern age with AI, with their phones, with their laptops, everything like that. But they also want to connect to the natural world, to the trees, the plants, the animals all around them. They want to be able to enjoy wet weather. They want to be able to enjoy the cold. They want to be able to enjoy really living and being alive. Those are the people that I like to work with. They're people like me. We all do best with people like ourselves because we can easily relate to them. So that's what I want to do. And, I keep finding them. I was finding them only yesterday. Part of all that too is really coming out and being you, not being the safe person who does the safe pictures for the safe website. Comes out and does crazy pictures, maybe even sticking your tongue out. The person who doesn't mind showing and being themselves. No, that's not true. The person who does care and worry and is scared of showing themselves. Come to me. I've got the hang of it. At least I'm getting the hang of it. And the more I get the hang of it, the more I can help you get the hang of being you. The crazy person who isn't like everybody else, who does it differently, who has a point of view and is willing to be different. That's the sort of person I want. That's the sort of person I am. And I do all this through teaching magic. Not the bloody Harry Potter stuff. I teach the real thing. And this is about connecting. Did you know that? Magic is all about connecting. It's about actually being able to talk to and hear and listen to and really understand what the plants are saying back to you when you talk to them. To hear what your cat says to you when you talk to her. To hear what the horses up on the moor, the wild horses, who come to the pond that you're sitting beside, and they splash about and enjoy themselves. And they may even come over and actually put their nose to your boot toe and look at you in the eye. And you can actually feel what they say to you. We talk to everything in real magic. The sky, the clouds, the birds, the plants, the animals, the fish, the sea. I do that all the time. And I've got, 3 clients at the moment I'm teaching it to, and they're all getting the hang of it. And I've got 8 students, and I'm teaching it to them. And some of them have really got advanced at it. They've been with me for a couple of years, so they're really working hard. And they've all got it. And they do sports massage, they do conferences, they do AI, they do journalism, they do business sense and business talk and teaching you how to do your business. That's what my clients and my students are doing. So, heck, what are you doing? How about you get out here and you do all this stuff too, eh? You can do it. You'll love it. It's much more fun than the 9 to 5. Tell you what else too. You know, everybody fusses about work-life balance. You'll have it. You'll understand that you only needed a work-life balance when you weren't thoroughly enjoying your work. That's true. And yes, you can do anything and thoroughly enjoy it. Absolutely. One of my clients is a cleaner, and she's a brilliant cleaner. And you know, she actually enjoys doing it. She actually enjoys making people's houses sparkle, including mine. And she actually enjoys helping them and helping them understand how to keep their houses like they want them. And when she's hoovering or, you know, wiping the surfaces or cleaning the bath or whatever it is, do you know what she does? She's actually chatting away to her Toulouse, to her spirit group, and she's getting ideas for other things that she does in her life. Because when she's not cleaning people's houses, and as I said, she really is good and she really does enjoy it, she's an animal rescuer and a horse whisperer, and she helps heal them. And she's really got into that since she really got connected with her spirit gang, her Toulouse. As another friend, another client actually, she's a gardener. And she wanted to do wildlife gardening. And yeah, she was making money, you know, keeping people's lawns and borders and hanging baskets and everything going. But no, she didn't want to do that. She wanted to do wild gardening. In fact, I've had a couple of gardeners. Another one, I taught him too to do his stuff. And now he's running a really successful gardening business in Gloucestershire. And my friend, my client, recent one, the gardener, she's running her own business too. Same way, helping people have a wild garden that they really enjoy sitting in and that doesn't look just a mess of nettles and brambles. Another client, and she worked with Alzheimer's people a lot. She was a nurse. Well, she's not a nurse, she was a sister, and she was a teaching sister as well. And that was sort of down in a big hospital in the city. And she learned to connect with her Toulouse. She learned to actually, when she was in a place with an Alzheimer's client who was in a really difficult state, she learned to click in, connect in with her Toulouse, and she knew how to deal with this person, how to help this person. Not sort them out, but help them to find their way to be in the world. I don't know whether you know, you probably do, but Alzheimer's is absolute bloody shit to get the hang of. I couldn't do it. I think she was amazing. So those are the people I love to work with. All sorts of different professions. I've had policemen and stockbrokers and artists and God knows what. Yes, ecologists as well. One who won a big American prize for ecology over in Tacoma. And they all connected with their spirit gang, with their spirit team, their Toulouse. And when they did, their businesses took off, and they took off. They lost the knack of getting a cold every 5 minutes. They kept healthy. They walked themselves through COVID really well. And they did their jobs bloody brilliantly. So, all you need is just to take that step. Just to take that step and go. Say, yeah, come on, show me, Ellen. I'll give it a try. Come on, guys. Speak to me. I want to speak to you. I want to play with you. Come on, let's all work together. What do? I help people crawl out of their shells. Yes, we're all in a shell. To some extent. No, not even to some extent. We're all in our own shell, including me. But we're like hermit crabs. Do you know what hermit crabs do? They actually don't build their own shell. They go around and find one that nobody else wants and move into it. And then they get too big for that shell, so they climb out of that before they get stuck. Very important, that, especially for business. So they climb out of the old shell before they get stuck, and then they go and climb into the new one that they've just found. Now, hermit crabs are quite clever at this, because what they also do is they don't get out of their old shell until they've found a new one. So the wonderful, glorious, exposed and vulnerable bits are not out there in the wild sea waiting for some other bugger to come and eat them for too long. The hermit crab is really, really clever. It has its life sussed. It knows who it is, and it knows how to be a good hermit crab. So it grows in its first shell, and then it climbs out of that shell after it's found a new one that is going to be just right for it this time. And it also climbs out of it before it gets stuck in the shell. That sounds pretty bright to me. And it's something that I certainly haven't done all my life. I've stayed in the shell too long, and I've got squished and really screwed up in it. And that's mentally and emotionally and actually physically. Because one time I did this, and I stayed stuck in the shell, desperately trying to fit myself into it and stay there and be a good girl. I ended up with rheumatoid arthritis. Really stuck. Physically stuck. I don't have hands anymore, I have claws. My feet have been rebuilt 4 times. I've got 2 new knees and a new shoulder. And I've actually got 3 crush fractures in my spine as well. So, heck, that was not a good idea. Physically, emotionally, or mentally. And of course my poor intuition was totally screwed because it just didn't have anything to connect to, because it was all the time, all it had got was this silly person who was trying to be what she was not. So what do? I help people not to do that. But of course they come to me when they have done it and they don't know what to do. And they're stuck. And A, they don't know how to get out of the shell that they're really now far too big for, that is squishing them. And they haven't found a new shell yet, and they need one, but they don't come out of the old one until they've got a new one, because some big, hairy pikefish might come along and eat them. And so they come along and they find me. And they discover that all of these things that are happening, that they feel bad, that their health is rotten, their emotions are completely screwed, and what's intuition anyway? I can't spell it. And they find there's a woman who listens, who can hear what they're saying, who has actually been there herself, and is actually able to say, well, there's several things we could try. How would you like to have a go at this? And I show them how to do it, give them their instructions, whatever their, how to do it leaflet, whatever it is. But I tell them and help them to start it, to begin doing this stuff. So they learn first how to come out of the shell that they're in. No, that's not. They learn at the same time, and even maybe a bit before. Yeah, we always start with, how do you want to be? Where are you trying to be? What would make your heart sing? And that's a question I use to people all the time. What would really make your heart sing? Okay, so we set that up as our goal, whatever it is. And then we say, well, what's stopping you now? And we go and find out what's kept them stuck in their shell. But guess what? Do you know what we do not do? We do not try and think it out just between the 2 of us. Because when somebody finds me, they don't only find me. They find me and my spirit team, my Tellurus, my fair family, my spirit family. And they're all much bigger and wiser than me and have a much wider perspective and a much deeper perspective too. They can look back into how things were as well as out into where things are going and into the wide perspective of where things actually are for people now. So when people find me, they don't just find me. They find me and the team. Me and the gang, as my dad used to call it. Yeah, I was brought up to do this by my dad and my uncles and my aunts. And not my mum very much, because I lost my mum when I was 3.5. And yeah, then later with my stepmum, because she was doing it too. So anyway, they find me and they find me and the team. And me and the team help them to find out and to vocalize, say, be in their hearts what makes their hearts sing. And so we set that up as our goal. And then me and the team help them find out what the shell is that they're stuck in, all the parts of it, which bits are worse stuck, what we can do about it. And almost immediately, within the first 15 minutes, I say, come on, let's do this little journey, this little meditation exercise journey. And I take them on a journey to connect them to their home planet, Mother Earth, and their home star, Father Sun. Yeah. Woo-woo. What? But, they come. And I take them because it's a led journey. I lead you through this. And my voice and my words take you where you're going. And I have never, ever, ever all my life, but certainly over 30 years of working life, I have never had a client who didn't go there. And do you know why that is? Because I'm not doing it on my own. I'm doing it with my team. So the journey is subtly different every time I do it. Oh, the basic structure is there, and that's the same. But we might be in our winter clothes today. We might be in our summer dress. It might be sunshine. It might be rain today. We are today. Me and the team, are taking the client there today, in the now. So the client goes through there and they suddenly feel, that was really nice. I really enjoyed that. Quite often they burst into tears. Blokes do as well, And they're so gloriously overwhelmed, because you can be overwhelmed beautifully in a lovely way, not just in the horrible way that everybody goes on about in business. They are taken over, they are enchanted by what they have just done. So we go through it again, and I give them a recording, and I say, right, go away and do this every day, twice a day if you can, until we see each other at our next meeting, usually the following week. So they go away, and they do it. They actually want to do it. They've actually enjoyed it, so they want to do it. And so they do. And then they come back the next week, and they tell me all about what happened and what insights they've got, and how they instinctively knew something was good or knew something was not supposed to be. They weren't supposed to be doing it, whatever. And they're excited. Their faces are usually lit up. Sometimes there's sadness in there as well, because they found out that something that they thought they wanted, actually, they don't want and they can't have. They go through the process of starting to gently shed their skin like a snake. Gently start crawling out of this shell that is too small for them. It doesn't fit them anymore. And we go on like that, and they meet their team. It happens every session. They meet either a new team member, because you can have more than one, you know, or they meet a team member in a different way, discovering that that team member can help them. Or maybe they go off with 2 or 3 sometimes. That doesn't usually happen for the first few weeks because it's a bit too much for a new student to take. And they go and do that. And they do it with me in the session. And then they go and do it at home. And they're bringing their business problems to me. They're bringing their relationship problems to me. They're bringing the problem with their mother-in-law to me. At the same time. Because all of these things, every single one of them, they all affect your business. Because they affect you. So they affect how competent you are, how good at it, how much you're enjoying it, how much you're stressing, and how much you're going down the rabbit hole of following old ways, or the rabbit hole of trying to work it all out in your head. I've got no objection to heads. I've got no objection to thinking. I like thinking. But please don't use it when you ought to be using your gut instincts, or your feelings, or your intuition, or when you really just ought to be asking your team. Stop trying to be a solopreneur on your own. Stop trying to do it all on your own. You don't necessarily need to have another human being doing it with you, but by God, you really need to have your team on board. And they will only be on board when you connect. They're not going to get in your face. They're not going to be space invaders like that. They're going to wait until you say, hey guys, it'd be really nice to connect. Can we do that thing? Then they'll come. Because they know you want them and you're ready. They're not going to push. And no, they've never, in that sense, they're not going to take you for a ride. They're not going to let you down. They're your backing group. They're really great and really helpful to you. They're the friends that you never dreamed you could have. So that's what I do, is I help people come out of their shells. I help people turn into really clever and good and, what am I going to say? Pardon me, good working hermit crabs. And I've got the hiccups, but never mind. So I help people become proper, useful, good, clever, astute, intelligent, discerning hermit crabs. Able to move from shell to shell as they grow, and expecting to grow, expecting to get bigger every time.